Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all keeping well. Today's plan is I'm going to take you through the LANDORUS Raid guide. It's the brand new legendary for April. It's here for the next 3 weeks, and unlike its two counterparts, Tornadus and Thundurus, it's actually useful. We're going to go through the reasons why it's useful, why you probably want to try and get out and do a raid, and one extra thing that Niantic have updated to benefit you going out and doing some raids. So let's jump right into it. LANDORUS is now available in level 5 raids and the Go Battle League system from today until I believe the 21st of April. So it's here for about 3 weeks, and key thing to note, it is a dual typing, ground and flying, and LANDORUS has pretty beefy stats, so it actually maxes out. 100% IV will max out at 3588, which is way up there. Nowhere near Groudon. You know, its attack stat of 261 is very, very good. Defensive 182, and then HP of 205. So it's pretty all round, not too bad as a Pokemon, which is lovely to see. It's about time that we had a useful legendary come back for a permanent chunk of time, because the last one was actually Terrakion, which was immediately outclassed by Rhyperior Community Day. The normal level 20 non-boosted 100% is 2050. Nice round number to remember. When it's boosted during either sunny/clear or windy weather, it's going to be 2563. So that's the 100% weather boosted. Because of its dual typing, it's actually got a double weakness, which plays into the fact that you can actually duo this legendary. You seem to be able to duo every single legendary nowadays, but it's double weak to ice, which is fantastic, because we should all have pretty solid ice type counters, considering we've all been raiding dragon type legendaries. And it's also single weak to water. It has a few more resistances compared to Groudon and Excadrill. LANDORUS will learn 4 different types of charge move, which is very interesting. Fast type move wise, it's going to learn Mud Shot and Rock Throw. They're pretty comprehensive moves. One of them benefits from stab. Rock Throw is going to counter a lot of your ice type counters. Charge moves is going to learn Focus Blast, Rock Slide, Outrage, which is a pretty interesting special move, and Earth Power. Earth Power, very powerful 2-bar ground type move. 3 out of the 4 are 2-bar charge moves, and then Focus Blast is 1-bar, which is going to impact how you select your counters somewhat, might I add. One of my favourite Pokemon, because of its versatility, Mamoswine. Mamoswine is going to be the #1 ice type counter for this legendary. Ice ground type Pokemon, very, very useful. You don't need the Community Day moveset to get the optimum ice type move, Avalanche on it, which is great. You've also got Weavile, Ice Shard and Avalanche. You've got Glaceon, which easy 25 candy evolution if you can chuck a Glacial Lure down and get that evolved. Mewtwo Psycho Cut Ice Beam is going to be pretty interesting, because it will pretty much, you know, neutral damage or resist the moves that LANDORUS learns, which is great. However, obviously legendary type Pokemon, you may not have one. Jinx, Frost Breath, Avalanche, too much of a glass cannon for my liking, and then Kyogre is right down there really, even though it is going to resist a lot of the moves, and it does learn Blizzard, so that's where you actually want to have Waterfall Blizzard on your Kyogre to combat this legendary type Pokemon. There are a whole load more counters that you can get, basically anything that's ice type, so you can even throw in Cloyster. You've just got to bear in mind that what actually is recommended in the raid lobby is going to kind of dictate what kind of moves you've got. Basically, Focus Blast is going to pose the biggest threat to your ice type Pokemon, because it's going to be super effective against them. However, it is a 1-bar charge move, so you can quite easily dodge it. You can look and judge at the fast moves how many LANDORUS is doing, and then you can jump and dodge that Focus Blast, which you're gonna have to do if you want to survive a duo against that move. The rest of the moves, which, I mean, I've already done 2 duos this morning out in the car. Very, very easy duo, might I add, but I came up against Earth Power and Outrage. They are very difficult to dodge, because LANDORUS takes about 2 or 3 quick moves to charge them up, and they also do extremely high damage. You know, Earth Power shouldn't be super effective against Weavile and Mamoswine, but it one shot kills them pretty much. Rock Slide and Rock Throw are going to pose an issue against things like Articuno and majority of your other ice types. If you're really slacking on counters, you could easily lead off with a Kyogre or another water type, such as Community Day Swampert is a pretty solid choice because it's going to resist quite a few of the moves. You want Hydro Cannon on that. Now let's jump into some of the factors about its usability. Now, as I've said previously, Landorus is going to have quite a few more resistances compared to Groudon and even Excadrill. Excadrill has quite a lot of issues because it's a dual steel type, so it would be weak to fire and fighting. Groudon solo ground type, so that's weak to ice, grass, water, all of that gubbins. Landorus doesn't have that weakness to grass, and it also has a lot of different moves that you could potentially use. One thing I would say is that in the PvE, using it as a raid counter, Earth Power 2-bar charge move, very, very good. I think it's like 90 damage or something, so it's an optimum moveset, very useful. However, in PvP, it goes up to 1-bar charge move, and it stays at 90 damage, so in PvP it's similar to Earthquake. However, it does actually get the opponent's attack drop. I believe there's now a perk on it, which is lovely. Landorus can be beaten by 2 trainers very easily if you've got optimum counters. I've done 2 duos today, which I'll be putting out. If you are lacking in ice type counters or even water type counters, you're going to need 3 to 5 trainers, and if you're lower level, 6 to 8 is kind of more recommended. Pokemon Go Hub, as I've got up here, is saying that you need ideal conditions to do a duo. You really don't. You really don't. I didn't have any weather boost in my favour. I don't think Landorus was boosted. Mine and Tom's account took it down, no issue. And that was against 2 different types of moves, as I said. Outrage, easily done, and Earth Power, easily done. And that was encountering glitches and stuff. I'm going to put this raid guide out there with a word of caution. Obviously, raiding is not advised at the moment. They are, as I said in my last video, they're working on ways to bring raiding to your home. Until that is pushed out as an update, we'll have to sit and wait and find out. Go Battle League, Ultra League is extremely competitive and tricky to judge your opponent's meta, so I would not recommend that. If you can get like 2 phones together or include it in your walk or your bit of exercise, go and do a raid is fine. I would say I went out in the car, so I'm not interacting with anybody. If you need ground types, go and get a couple of them because they are going to be pretty good off the bat. It has a lot more resistances compared to other ground types, like I've mentioned. Excadrill is a bit cheaper to find, but has a lot more issues in terms of type usage. Groudon isn't here at the moment, and it hasn't been here for a long time, and with the way that the research breakthroughs are looking, we're not going to see it until maybe it gets a raid day. For now, Landorus is probably your best bet in terms of boosting up your ground type teams. Do bear in mind this is its first time here. It will come back with a shiny potential, so don't feel obligated to go crazy about it. We'll have to see how the Raid from Home system is implemented, because that might change what I'm saying entirely. One perk that Niantic did implement was the accessibility radius for interacting with gyms has now doubled. You can be twice as far away from a gym and interact with it, which is nice. That's the Landorus Raid guide. Best of luck with it. If you successfully duo it, let me know. It'd be good to see what your time is. I'll put my duos up tomorrow and the day after, hopefully, unless I decide to shoot another video. Now we have an April Fool's event, or a mischievous event, because obviously today is April Fool's Day, 1st of April. This event runs for a week, which is very nice to see. It started at 8 AM today, will end April 7th, 10 PM. Prankster Pokemon, Ghastly and Haunter, proper pranksters. Voltorb, I guess because it explodes. Sudowoodo, Fake Tree, Apom, Croagunk. Croagunk is the new shiny for this event, which is lovely to see. Francesco's already got one, and then Fungoose, which disguises itself, so I guess it's a prankster of some kind. There are a couple of research tasks. One of them gives you Sudowoodo, one of them gives you Croagunk, and then one of them gives you Stunfish, which is a new Pokemon released. Apom and Croagunk are photobombing in replacement of Smeargle, which is great, and you can interact with that 5 times a day, so 5 different snapshot sessions, and they can both be shiny. You'll see them shiny on the map, actually. Ditto has massively boosted spawns. I mean, Pokemon hiding as Ditto is ridiculous, because I think Fungoose, Voltorb, and something else are spawning more regularly, all hide, or Ditto hides as. They're everywhere. In 5km regs, we've got Apom shiny, Wynot shiny, Bonsley shiny, Croagunk shiny, and Stunfish. Stunfish won't remain in 5km regs after this event is finished. It will be in the wild and then a research task only, apparently. Get them while you can. They are quite rare. I've seen 1 or 2 on the nearby, but I'm not going out to Walpole or Lammas, thank you very much. Stunfish is pretty interesting because it is a ground electric type, and it gets pretty interesting PvP moves. I think it gets Discharge, Mud Bomb, and Muddy Water, which are all 3-bar charge moves, or 2-bar in PvP, and it gets Thundershock and Mudshot. Its move coverage is really bloody brilliant, so highly recommend if you want to get one for your Great League team. It's going to be pretty useful. That's going to round out 2 days video. It's just a little raid guide and an event notification, as it were. So go out there, well, don't go out there, stay home, incense. If you can, lure up, try and get yourself a shiny Croagunk, because it's going to be very cool to flex in PvP, certainly. And Landorus, let me know if you managed to get a decent Landorus. I think I got a 91% 15 attack, which I'm quite content with. I'm not prepared to really spend passes in the Go Battle League, so I'm looking for raids. And I'm hoping that Niantic bring in the raid from home system sooner rather than later, because I was getting suspicious looks from a police car while sat in my car at the side of the road doing my Pokemon raid. Anyway, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you are new with the notifications on, and smash that like button if you enjoyed it. Best of luck with this new event for a week, and best of luck with Landorus. Landorus is actually useful. Finally. Anyway, take care everybody.